Hello, welcome back to another video. Delighted to be joined as always by Jason Murphy. We are previewing UFC 304's co-main events for the Interim Heavyweight Championship. Tom Aspinall's defending in a rematch against Curtis Blaydes. Obviously, the first fight ended in Aspinall unfortunately being injured in the first round in the UK a couple of years ago, I think it was. Now the time is 8:47. It's probably going to be around about 8:47 when this fight happens. UK time, unfortunately. But how are we, Jason?
I'm good, man. You?
Yeah. Really good, thanks. Tom Aspinall, done really well since the unfortunate injury against Blaydes. He's came back against Marcin Tybura in what was, he's always going to win that fight probably. But, the performance against Sergey Pavlovich in New York, stopping him in a round as an underdog, that was absolutely phenomenal. So it should be a good fight, this.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking like it was going to be an exciting fight. The first one, I think, what a lot of people, I mean, I know it was a massive injury and a bad injury, and a lot of people focus on that. But Blaydes was catching Tom.
Yeah, Blaydes looked good for. I know it only lasted a minute or whatever it was, but he looked sharp.
He cracked Tom a couple of times before the injury. So people are sort of saying, "Oh, Tom was, Tom got injured, and without the injury, that looked like it was hotting up." Curtis Blaydes can crack.
That's it. The narrative here is, Tom's going to run through him in a round because Pavlovich ran through Curtis Blaydes in a round. No, it doesn't work like that.
MMA maths does not. He beat him, and I've beat him, so I can beat you. Never happened. In fact, historically, it's always gone the other way.
For sure.
I've beat him. He's beat you, so I can beat you. You usually get beat because MMA maths just doesn't line up.
Complacency as well.
Yeah, but for me, I think Tom will win. I do think Tom. I think Tom's just all round better than him, and I think it may sound cliche, but I think getting that belt just does give him that extra. I forget who said it. I think it was Teddy Atlas said that they get
the extra 10%.
It certainly gives them sort of an air of confidence. Tom is not swaggering around because he's not that kind of guy. He's a very humble guy, but he sort of carries himself.
He's just got full faith in his ability, and he's so fast. I was just actually having a laugh to myself there because we gave it the big build up, and about MMA math not working, and then I'm just thinking that being said, Tom will win in a round.
Run through him.
Yeah.
I do think Tom will win. I've always thought Tom beats Blaydes. I just think he's better on the ground, and I think his speed of hand and his footwork, the way he gets in and out quick. I mean, I think Tom would be suited to heavyweight boxing. I do believe that he's got.
He's Fury's sparring partner for years, wasn't he?
For years ago. Yeah. I think that's where he sort of started, as a sparring partner for the Furies, sort of jobbing around before he sort of got into MMA full time. So, he's an old school spit and sawdust fighter, and I think, the fact that he's got the black belt in BJJ as well, I don't think he's going to be worried about Curtis taking him down because Tom's good off his back.
Oh, he's so well rounded. That's the thing about Tom. For a big guy who weighs a hell of a lot. He's so well rounded. He's so fast. As you say, he gets in and out with the combinations. That's what did Pavlovich. Pavlovich cracked him, and to be fair, Tom did look slightly shaken. He wasn't massively buzzed or anything, but straight after that, just nailed him with the 1-2, and then put him out. And obviously Pavlovich kind of did the same thing to Curtis Blaydes in fairness, but I think Tom will be too fast on the feet.
And without disrespecting Curtis Blaydes, I think Tom's fight IQ is significantly greater than Blaydes. Tom is a thinking fighter. You can see that because of his BJJ being the mainstay of his disciplines. He's always thinking about angles and spaces. And I think he's taken that sort of BJJ mindset into his stand-up game. So he's always sort of 2 or 3 moves ahead. He'll throw a jab waiting for the reaction to then know that he's going to throw the overhand right and stuff like that. And he did that with Pavlovich. He sort of walked without... I didn't catch it first time round, but watching it again, you can see that he sort of walked Pavlovich into the finish.
He did.
With his feet and his hands, sort of...
Carrying a bad back injury as well. It's a phenomenal performance, that.
Yeah, Tom is... I think for me is the only one that would give Jon Jones a serious fight.
Yeah.
And I don't say that flippantly. You know me, I'm a Jon Jones fan. Have been from day dot. But I do see that
Tom will cause Jon Jones problems. I think that's universally known.
I don't think Jon Jones, in all seriousness, will take that fight. I think he'll
never happen in a million years.
No,
never.
I think he might fight
Poatan. Yeah. That makes sense. And, unfortunately for Tom, Alex Pereira's a big name. He's got a lot of traction. And, let's just have it right. The path to victory is just plain sight for Jon Jones in that fight.
Yeah. I think,
without disrespecting Poatan.
No, and I think Tom knows that. He knows that. I think he knows, but he's going to play the game. He's going to probably call Jon out. And call him a pussy and say he's scared.
That's what I want to cover before we finish up here. At the end of the day, you should never ever be defending an interim belt. The point of winning an interim belt is you are next in line to fight for the heavyweight championship. But what's happened here is Dana White is, we've seen what he says to people about Jon Jones is pound for pound number one. He's fought once in 4 years. I love Jon Jones as much as you do. I'm a massive Bones fan, but really, I know he's holding out for the Stipe fight. There doesn't really need to be a belt attached to that. It's a Legends kind of thing. But Tom Aspinall, if he wins here, he has to fight for the heavyweight championship next. He should not be defending an interim belt.
No,
you never see it in the UFC.
No, I think the second that Jon got the serious, didn't he tear his rotator cuff or something? Didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was heck or something.
For me, the interim belt then becomes the full
title. They did it with Prohaska and Jamal Hill when they got injured. They all vacated the belt, but because it's Jon Jones, and I understand that he's the biggest star in the sport.
Yeah, but like you said, it's Jon Jones. We would all watch a Jon Jones fight.
Yeah, doesn't need the belt. Steve hasn't fought since 2021.
Exactly. Didn't he fight Ovin Semprou without a belt? Did he?
Or when he came back, didn't he? Yeah, OSP.
Figures to DC. I think DC was the champion at the time. So people will watch Jon Jones, and I think for people to take not MMA seriously, but UFC, because UFC sort of stands alone, doesn't it? As MMA, I think some casuals think that MMA is UFC or UFC is MMA sort of thing. But I think in order for certain people to take it a little bit more seriously and not see it as a monopoly, you have to do things how they're supposed to be done. Jon Jones is not in a position to defend the full title. The interim champion then becomes the full champion, has his fight, and then when Jon's ready to fight, they fight each other. Like you said, interim belts are not meant for defenses. They are meant for number one contender. The champion can't fight. So this is to solidify the number one contender, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, that's how it's always.
Certainly when you win a belt at an interim level, you are either elevated to champion or you are fighting for the belt next. You definitely don't defend it. In boxing, it's a bit different, but in MMA, you do not defend interim belts. It's never really been done. I don't really... But Dana White's protecting his golden goose at the end of the day. So official prediction for Aspinall, Blaydes?
I think Aspinall stoppage round 2.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think either 1 or 2, but I'd probably say the second round. I think the first we'll see a second round in this fight. Definitely.
I think Tom's going to catch him and wobble him, and then I think he's going to jump on him. I see it as something like a rear naked choke or possibly a dash choke, something like that. I think Tom's going to get his neck. I think he's going to wobble him on the feet and he's going to get his neck. And I think that's the second round stoppage.
Cool. That would be great to see. So catch Aspinall Blaydes. It's the co-main on Saturday night, UFC 3 and 4 from Manchester.
Sunday afternoon by the time.
Sunday afternoon. Yeah, you're right. Thanks as always, Jason.
Thank you, man.